My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-E-Y-A-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day, and if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A. Hello, YouTube people. It's Sam. It is Thursday, January 20th, 2011. 3 days shy of five months on testosterone. What? How did that happen? I don't know. Um, so this is my 5 month on T video. And I'm not positive if this is my voice or not. I haven't spoken very much today, but I think this is my voice because when I'm talking, it sounds different. But when I listen to it recorded, it seems like that's my voice when I hear it recorded. But when I hear it in my head right now, it sounds weird. So I'm not sure. Anyway, Happy New Year. Happy 2011. I have been working really hard lately. I've been working on film shoots because it's January and that's when people in my program make films. So anyway, on with my changes. First off, I have no color in my hair. Well, there's like these little bits that are left, but otherwise brown. What do you guys think? Because honestly, I've gotten used to it. I didn't think I was gonna get used to it, and I did. And I actually kind of like it, but I'm up for changing it again, maybe, but I'm surprised that I'm okay with it because I haven't had like plain old brown hair in a really long time. Okay, moving on. So when I was at home, I was at my dad's gym. I went with him to his gym and I passed for the first like genuine passing time to this guy at the gym. And the reason I say first genuine passing time is that like usually people would think that I'm a guy and then I would talk and then the gig would be over. I don't even, is it called gig? Whatever. It would be over. They would be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But that didn't happen. And this was very interesting. So I have a video clip that I recorded back when I was in Boston. I'll put that in now. When we went in, my dad said that he was going to say, "This is my guest Sam." Instead of saying, "This is my daughter Sam," or "This is my son Sam," he would just say, "This is my guest Sam." With my dad and his friend, while we were all like cooling off after going on the treadmill thingies. And we're all chatting, and then one of the cleaning guys came up. His name's Solomon. My dad and his friend know him. They see him all the time, so they were all chatting. And my dad likes to practice his Spanish. He basically just said, "This is Sam." And Solomon was like, "All right, hi." You know, he was nice, but my dad didn't communicate, "This is my child," or "my daughter," or "my son." So he was just like, "I don't know who this person is, but hello." And then some awkward, poor Spanish exchanging on my part and feeling awkward. And then he went off to do something. And then, here we go. Then my dad and his friend went into the locker room. I was like, "Well, I'm not going to go into the locker room. So I'll just give you my jacket and I'll sit in this chair awkwardly waiting for him and his friend." And then Solomon came back over and we were chatting and talking about like the weather or something, and it's cold. And I said, "Oh, I live in California. It's nicer." And he was wearing a Red Sox hat, and I said, "Oh, I love the Red Sox." And he said, "But you live in California." And so I realized that he really didn't know who I was. So then I realized I could gender my dad without like gendering myself, and I just said, "Oh, that's my dad." And I pointed at the chair that he had been sitting in. And he went, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my dad." And he said, "Oh." And he said, "Su hijo," which means his son. And I was just like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." And he said, "Oh." And all of a sudden it made sense to him. Then my dad came back out And Solomon said, "Oh, es tu hijo." And my dad just went with it and was just like, "Sí, sí, él es mi hijo." And then it was all jolly and friendly. Um, and then I was like, "Geez, I've been talking to this guy and wearing my dad's gym shorts that are pretty small in terms of shorts. I mean, they just don't go past my knee. And a t-shirt, and this guy I passed to. That was why I wanted to make a video. It was completely brand new. That has not really happened just like that before. And then we were walking out to the car, and my dad was like, "So that was interesting." And I said, "Yes, it was." And he said that he found it not as difficult to gender me as male in Spanish because it doesn't feel as drastic as saying my son, saying mi hijo. It's a little different. Probably just because it's not our main language. So there's something to be said for that. Also, it's similar. Hijo, hija. If you mumble, maybe it could be confused. But son and daughter are quite different words from each other. So anyway, I just wanted to share that I passed for the first time since starting T. Um, and maybe it has to do with language and culture. I'm not sure. So that was cool. Unexpected. Other things. So, oh, right. The fat on my stomach is shifting to, I think, a more male looking pattern. And that's actually really interesting to me. So, I mean, I still have hips, of course. I mean, it's going to be a while before that kind of stuff shifts. But it's more of like an up and down oval instead of a side to side oval. Like this is how I'm starting, and this is how I think I'm probably going to end up. And right now it's kind of in the middle. But it's shifting, which is really exciting because my hips are the thing that I hate the most about my body. And I know that it's not healthy to hate your body. I don't like my hips. Okay, so I am excited for that to continue to change. Other stuff. I've discovered a couple back hairs. I'm very concerned. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'm very concerned. Also, little random hair, like when I was getting my shot and I like pulled my pants down a little bit, I was like, what is that? And I'm kind of getting some darker fuzz on my butt. Not okay, but who was I kidding? I knew this was going to happen. In terms of my shots and how that's going, I'm still having my friend do it. When I was home, I had a subcutaneous shot, which was actually really interesting, and I should be talking about that. In Boston and in Philadelphia, it is very common practice, in terms of what I've been hearing, or more common practice to have subcutaneous shots. And I went to a clinic in Boston to have my shot done because I can't do it myself still. And that's how they do it there. And so I've collected a whole bunch of information and passed it along to my clinic out in San Francisco and along to other trans folks that I know who are interested. So if anyone wants like a compilation of data about subcutaneous shots, let me know and I'll be happy to send it to you. Um, it's something that I feel really strongly about because I want to be self sufficient and I'm not. So I feel like when I can give myself my shot, it'll probably be subcutaneous, and then I will not have to bother my friend every week. Though I'm going to switch to every other week because this is getting annoying coordinating with him. Um, yeah, subcutaneous. Very interested. I know that Jude does subcutaneous shots, and I know that I don't actually know if I know his name. Punk Rocker 13, something like that. This really nice guy who lives in Pennsylvania. He does subcutaneous too. So, I'm very interested. Oh, and at the clinic, he was like showing me how, and I got that kind of needle. It's a 5/8 of an inch, 25 gauge needle. It's like the tiniest little thing. It's so much better than the inch and a half thing. Anyway, and he like showed me how to do it, and then I thought I would be able to do it myself, but then I couldn't And according to my friend, you can get like special needle therapy. And it's like 5 sessions and it's a step-by-step process. And by the end, you can stick yourself with a needle. So I also need to look into that because I really want to be self-sufficient. This doesn't seem to be a sustainable system relying on my friend. Okay, moving on. Oh, another thing, in terms of like emotional changes, I've been having like a little bit of disappointment when it comes to romantic endeavors. I'll leave it vague, but a little bit of disappointment. And it hasn't been affecting me lately as much as I would have been affected previously. I don't know if it's just the testosterone. Of course, it's easy for me to make that assumption, but um, but I found that really interesting. Like my friend was ready to be like really supportive, and I was like, actually, I'm not even angry. I'm not even that upset. I'm just like a little disappointed and a little frustrated, but like pretty darn even keeled for being like what should be extremely disappointing. Twice in a row, back to back. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting emotional change, and I'm appreciating it. It might also be because I'm distracted because I'm working so much and so focused on school, but interesting nonetheless. Okay. My friend who I hadn't seen in a month said that my shoulders look a lot broader. I mean, I'm wearing a giant hoodie. I'm sure you guys can't tell. Um, anyway, she thought that they looked broader. She thought my voice was different. That was cool. And speaking of voice, everyone is finally noticing my voice change, which is interesting because for a long time it was just myself and you guys on YouTube who were noticing it. And finally, it seems like everyone is saying, wait a minute, do you have a cold or is your voice changing? And I was like, nope, that's my voice. And they're like, whoa, really? So that's actually been great because I was thinking that this was all happening like in my head because no one was really noticing. But they are, and it's great. Speaking of voice stuff, um, it's been cracking a lot too. Like when I get really excited, I was on these shoots and funny things would happen, or I would like yell across the room to someone and it would just crack in like the silliest way. And that's actually been really funny, and I'm trying to embrace it because I know it won't last and it's ridiculous and embarrassing, but I kind of think it's funny. So I haven't shaved. I know you can't see this. This never works on camera, but I'm going to try anyway. I haven't shaved in about a week, I think. I don't know. Anyway, and I've got like tons of stuff in here. Let's see if I can get in the light. It's probably just totally blown out, but maybe you can see it. It's like really intense down here. Um, and I'm trying to let these guys grow. You can't see it. I know you can't see it. I can see it. A little bit down here and a little bit down here. And name change. I finally decided for sure, Samuel Noah. Excuse me. Samuel Noah is going to be my name. I went through kind of a going back on it time when I was in Boston and like went through a whole bunch of other names and really like Adam, but then I would be Samuel Adam and I would basically be a beer. And I really like Jackson, but then I would be Samuel Jackson and I'm not Samuel Jackson. So, I tried a couple different things and finally was like, no, Noah's really good. So I filled out the forms, the name change forms, and now I just have to figure out the next steps in California for legally changing my name because this summer I'm going to be going on a cruise ship with Genderbusters. It got into a film festival on a cruise ship. It's called the Pride of the Ocean. It's extremely gay. Very, very excited. I'm going with my friend who also got in, and we're going to go to Bermuda, and I need a passport. My passport expired a while ago, and by the time June rolls around, I don't think I'm going to look much like an Elizabeth. So I'm working on getting all the name change stuff put through before that. If anyone has suggestions or tips on how to change your name in California, that would be great. I've been trying to get in touch with the Transgender Law Center, but for some reason they're not getting back to me. Okay, So I think that's all. I hope everyone is doing great out there in YouTube land, and I will see you all next month. All right, bye.